Hi, I'm Paul Friedman. I founded the Marriage Foundation. And today's topic goes in two different directions. And that is, my husband always assumes the worst of me. That's the topic. And I really want to talk about this in a way that encourages you. Because in many cases, the women who have this complaint are so beautiful, they're so humble, they're such loving women. And they imagine that their husbands are not appreciating them. And appreciation coming to you from your husband is so important, isn't it? It's a expression of love. Appreciation. You know, there's expressions of love that we are aware of. And when we feel these, they lift us up. Like gratitude. When your husband expresses gratitude, we feel good because it's coming from the heart. When your husband expresses how beautiful you are, how he sees you through his loving eyes, it goes right to the heart, doesn't it? There's a big difference between what we hear and what we feel sometimes. And these differences can change our attitude all day, how we're feeling about ourselves, how we're feeling about life. And that is something that you should understand more fully. Not just that that happens, but why does that actually happen? Why is it? And it's important because when you're married, what is most important isn't what your husband is feeling for you. Really, it's what you're feeling and expressing for your husband. So here's the problem, and actually the opportunity at the same time. In between us and the outer world is this thing called the mind. And when I say it's in between us and the outer world, it's a deep philosophical and real point. Because we're not taught this, but it's an important point. You see, you're the soul, and you have a mind, and you have a body too. But the mind is supposed to report to you. It's supposed to be a filter that allows you to enjoy God's creation, not suffer in it. But what happens is this mind becomes what we call the pseudo-soul, the false soul. We think, oh, I am. In fact, there was a philosopher very famous who used to say, I think, therefore I am. Maybe you've heard that expression. It's incorrect, actually. Ironically, I think, therefore, I have a mind. My mind thinks on my behalf, but I am not the mind. And that part that thinks, that's the ego that says that. Correctly, you should be saying, I am the soul, therefore I love. And the reason why your husband married you is that men do not have the same connection to themselves, to their soul, as women. Women, because of, and it's kind of extensive, I won't get into it at this point, but you already know that you feel much more than your husband. And that feeling can be divided into two parts, two kinds of feelings. One is a feeling that you get from your emotions. And those are false feelings. Those are of the mind. But that other feeling, the one that you draw from when you have children, when you make love, is your heart. And that's the real you. And that's the you should be identifying with. That is the you that your husband should be experiencing in your marriage. And if you're constantly or periodically wondering, how's he feeling me now? How is he seeing me? Does he appreciate me? Does he love me? Does he care? You're taking away energy from becoming that which he craves, which is you, the heart. So the recommendation is for you to set aside the mind, those thoughts, those emotional feelings. And I know the mainstream says you should honor them, but it's not true. You should not honor your emotions any more than you honor the flexibility in your fingers or your eyes. You don't honor them. You appreciate that you have those, but they're functional. Focus on being you, the heart, instead. Don't allow your mind to get on its own trip about how it feels about this, how it feels about that, because then before you know it, you're going to feel badly, because there's this other part of us that is in the body. It's called the drive to survive, and it's afraid of everything. It's afraid of everything. Now you can learn so much about marriage, and that's why you subscribe to this channel. And if your marriage is not really just a kick-ass marriage where you are feeling so much love that you can barely take it all the time, because that's what marriage is designed for. It's designed for you to be floating on cloud 9. They call it marital bliss. Your soulmates. You're married to your soulmate. But if you're not experiencing that, it's always a lack of how to be married. Always. So get one of my books. It's an easy way to learn so much about marriage. But if your marriage is starting to slide, and probably not with this complaint, but if it is, then I urge you to sign up for the course for women. You know, it's a free sign up in that. Now you do end up paying for it if you stay with it, but you don't have to stay with it. You sign up, you get a 3-day trial. All that happens is your credit card or your payment method is authorized, and then 3 days later it'll get charged. But then it goes into a 90-day guarantee. So you're never risking anything, and it will help you change your marriage in ways that I cannot even describe to you. You wouldn't understand, because it's so lofty. It's so beautiful. It's so worthwhile. So again, I'm Paul Friedman. I founded the Marriage Foundation on these beautiful principles of marriage, the ones that you're supposed to keep in the foreground and the background of your mind, because you got married for love. You got married for happiness, and you deserve those. So thanks for spending time with me. God bless you, and I hope I see you again, and take care.